We've got about 15 minutes. We give organisations 15 minutes, so a wee bit longer. We've got your written submission. Members will have read it. Welcome. Over to you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the previous two speakers. I support their submissions and they were great. Thank you. I'm just speaking from the heart today, and I speak on behalf of New Brighton Project, which is a non-profit organisation that works to strengthen and enhance community in New Brighton. My colleagues and I live and work in New Brighton within the Regenerate Christchurch area. Our children attend the local schools. It is our community that has been enduring the never-ending road closures, detours, broken bridges and the demolition of hundreds of houses. It's our schools that have been damaged for the last 5 years and are now merged or closing. There seemed to have been very little in the way of public consultation with many of the decisions made for us by higher authority. It is our view that the recovery to date has been done to our communities rather than with, and we ask that the bill reflects the wishes of the people for a locally driven recovery. We believe that this bill will significantly affect the future of Christchurch and especially the eastern suburbs. Recovery in the eastern suburbs of Christchurch has barely begun, and yet the Crown are still persisting with extravagant anchor projects for the centre city. There seems to be very little data to back up these ambitious projects. We're concerned that the new Crown Company will continue to be secretive as Sarah has been, and the public have frequently expressed concern and frustration over this. We believe that a collaborative vision and strategy will be far more effective for the regeneration of Christchurch. We seek the increased democratic planning processes. We feel that the bill as it stands continues the anti-democratic provisions in the Sarah Act that override the resource management processes. We need local democracy back in Christchurch. This can be greatly improved by these changes to the bill. Having the council take over Regenerate Christchurch earlier than 2021. We require that Regenerate Christchurch have public hearings on all plans. And we want the council to be responsible for final approval of plans, not the minister. There is no reference to the environment in the bill. The health of the environment reflects the health of the community. The communities of the East have experienced a long waiting game for roads to be reopened, schools to be closed, demolished and rebuilt, community centres to be built, master plans to be completed. Life as usual has not been easy. 5 years of perceiving ruin and neglect and the slow replacement of the damaged red zone in our area has not yet led to recovery. Our communities may be resilient, but it has taken a terrible toll on many psyches. After almost 5 years, we're still restricted from access to the now park-like red zone lands that are on our doorsteps. It seems an analogy for the recovery as a whole, where affected communities are refused participation in key decisions over our future landscape. There's a real need for the community to get back into both the red zone lands and the processes for future decisions. Road access to New Brighton currently travels along and through the red zone. We want to see the land activated by reserves and wetlands for cyclists, walkers, and acting as a real conduit from the city to the sea. We want to see the red zone made into a river park and reserve. The land is so significant to its former owners and to the communities that are adjacent to it and there is real considerable interest in its future. Yet the bill as it stands has no strong commitment to consult and implement public views. In 2012, over 18,000 people signed the Avon or Takaro Network's petition asking the government to turn the red zone land into a reserve and river park when the homeowners have left. The land is also so important for wetland restoration and flood mitigation measures that are essential for the future health and the amenity value of the river and the surrounding areas. We seek changes to the bill to promote the establishment of the river park and public use of the land. In summary, we support the development of a strong community and council-led program of recovery, one that embraces democratic process and gives ownership of the city back to the people. We acknowledge the considerable investment that government has made in post-earthquake Christchurch, but we also acknowledge the need for communities to be enabled to have meaningful influence in the future regeneration of lands that are so intrinsic to the health and well-being of our communities. We want hope, we want healing, and we want to help achieve it. We thank you for your time in hearing us today.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, questions, members. Eugenie?
Thank you for the submission. Why do you think the natural environment has been totally missed out of the purposes of the bill? given that there was that 18,000 signature petition which came to Parliament, given that the Avon Otakara project had to have very high profile, why do you think the natural environment's totally missing?
I honestly don't know. Because the red zone is incorporated into the Regenerate ChCh area of interest, and yet it's an economic opportunity that seems to be lacking.
Thank you.
Joe?
Well, do you think that Regenerate New Brighton would be a massive step forward for what you were talking about with...
I believe that area of interest would probably be concentrated to the central business district of New Brighton, rather than the actual river and red zone.
Todd?
Thank you. Thank you very much for your very passionate submission. As I look at the framework that's proposed, I can see, some opportunity for genuine engagement for people like yourself and your organisation. I mean, at the front end, the representatives that sit around Regenerate ChCh obviously include the City Council and others, the strategic partners. From what I understand, although I'm not from here, there are some very strong City Council and community links that I'm sure will help build a picture of what regeneration could look like. And then, of course, subsequent to all of that, there is, public consultation on the draft plan, which I'm sure you will also participate in. Does that give you, some comfort that, your voice can be heard as part of what will be, I suspect, a pretty intense community debate?
It does give some comfort, but we do want to ensure that that is really the kaupapa of the regeneration bill.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, there appear to be no other questions, so thank you very much for being with us this morning and for your written submission. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to do so.
No worries.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I call, please, to the table Catherine Bates?